I'm Tony, the VP of Advanced Welding Automation. The Ultra Seamer is a product that we developed to address the introduction, the high-speed laser welding to classic archaic tube manufacturing or sheet joining. The reason we paired with SICK is because the gantries on these new machines are moving at speeds that have never been seen in that space. Our strategic partners at EandM, committed to showing us the latest and greatest, showed us some of the nanoscan line, and I lost my mind. I said, it throws a magic curtain of light in any direction, 270 from the head, and you can control how and where this thing gives you safety. We thought, wow, that's amazing. Flash forward, we used 2 of those on a robot cell that is making products, and it keeps people out of the location where the laser is going to be, and it also interlocks the machine so that no matter what you're doing, you can't trick the machine into being in an unsafe condition. When we moved to our new venue here, we said, hey, we need to put safety at the front of our product development, because if safety is an afterthought, it's not going to be that great. So we decided, hey, you know what we need to do? We're going to put this nanoscan on our evolutionary idea of saying, hey, laser can weld faster, things need to move faster, which means it has to be a whole lot more safe. We integrated the safety scanner so that we could identify how far we need the operators to be before they're in a condition where we're going to say, hey, this is the first interface. We're going to slow the seamer down. And we're going to make sure that we're not losing time from a false positive of like, oh my gosh, there's actually a reason we need to stop this machine. And then have our second stage, something is clearly wrong. We need to stop this machine. We need to halt production. We need to stop making a part because there is truly a problem. Those just 2 elementary levels of this safety scanner gave us the ability to have a machine that never had downtime unless there was really a problem. It let us be flexible in where we mounted things so that we could put a safety scanner right where operators are going to interface with this machine, and it ends up being seamless and fluid. You have a machine that works with you instead of against you, because we can use these safety scanners in a way and program them effortlessly with Safety Designer and get results that the customer doesn't even know that it's looking out for them. Huge value. So another application that we'd find very valuable as SICK is anything that's safety that's now going to live in the SICK ecosystem. There are competitors that were similar spaces, but they have holes in their portfolio. Whereas SICK is a complete vertically integrated company where I can say, I need a light curtain, I need a camera that's looking for something, I need a laser scanner that's going to shoot in 270 degrees, and I can articulate and effortlessly communicate all of those into a safe ecosystem across the board. Something very simple like a laser distance sensor. You could use that as a assistant to an indicator that, hey, there's something here, so we shouldn't be moving. Being clever and creative, using products that are so easy to understand in software and get results you want, put the sensor in a new and interesting location, and now you've opened up a whole new world of things you can do. And we've got 1 phone call to tech support. The pricing from EandM is bonkers, and the support is maximum. So any product that we choose to get from SICK also comes with that avalanche of support and ease of use, which gives us as the integrator, the designer, the test, chimp that has to try to use the machine and say, is this something that we did right? Well, we can go back and make changes effortlessly as quick as we need to. I had a fellow who's been doing this a lot longer than me. He said, I had SICK light curtain and it worked for 25 years. I started without kids and now I have gray hair and almost a grandfather. SICK, bro. In our future products, we have scanners that are going to be using door interlocks, daisy chain for multiple entries to a system that has lasers that are deemed unsafe. With these enclosures, we can say, hey, we need light curtains so that when someone's inside the machine in a working envelope, we can say, hey, look, these SICK curtains are saving time by not stopping the machine, just slowing it down. Safe Visionary that's looking out for something that shouldn't be in there, that maybe the operator miss, or even supervisors will miss something that would cause the machine to have a catastrophic failure. Oh, I left my cell phone in a working zone. We can enact this little tiny camera that looks out for this entire machine. So the future of AWA and SICK is going to be deep and very much from the start intertwined, because safety comes standard at AWA. So my experience with Safety Designer was that I was a third party to the machine. We had EandM, our partner, and our rep TJ, explain everything that can be done. Okay, so you retain 30% of that. We had our electrical engineer, JJ, sit through all of that, sat down for about 2 hours, understood everything systemically from how he's going to wire this to make sure that it's hardwired and it can't be defeated. So if you destroy the sensor, if you cut wires, the machine would render itself inoperable. We wanted to make sure that you couldn't use this machine that could be very dangerous in the wrong operational modes, that it would fault in a safe condition. Well, I was the third party to all this. I came in after the fact. I didn't sit down. I was more of a managing the whole system and said, this is important, this is safety. So we'll get lots of information from our partner, EandM. I'll disseminate that to engineering. And then I came in as a blind third party to say, what have you guys done? Now I'm going to pretend that I'm an operator who is unsafe. I'm going to pretend that I'm a supervisor who knows what he's doing. I'm going to pretend that I'm a site facility engineer who needs to now interface with safety designer. And we found that the camera was so sensitive it would see dust coming off of the welding operation. I'm like, well, that's not going to be good because this thing makes a lot of dust. So we went back into Safe Designer. We had our partners at EandM say, hey, we'll make a few small changes behind the scene and tune this so that it'll work to not see dust, but it'll still see operators. I was able to change the field of importance in about 30 seconds without any instructions, without any help. It was intuitive to the point where I dragged, dropped, and identified, hey, this is where this needs to be. And then we were able to test it on the fly. I was able to make changes to that field, put my hands in places that I think it needs to be, and articulate the true efficacy, the speed, and the immediate feedback of making this machine intimately safe. SICK is like any high-quality German company. Everything is meticulously thought of, everything is meticulously crafted, and someone really cares about the product they're putting out. It shows in the hardware, it shows in the software, and it shows that everything that the user experiences, whether it's plugging something in, mounting it to our assemblies, or playing with the software to figure out how this articulates. We are a Siemens house by default, so German runs through our blood and runs through the systems, through the electrical, the controls, the motors and drives. Everything we get comes from a German supplier. So we find that those things handshake as if they were designed in tandem, even though they're from totally separate entities. When we look at the SICK software, it falls to hand, it's intuitive. Everything about it, learning curve for the majority of what people would use these for, minutes, not hours, not days, not weeks. And if you need to implement a change, there are restrictions of who can do what, how quickly those can be thrown down onto the production floor or on a machine. For example, this is a moving gantry. It's more like a one-axis automated guided vehicle that goes left to right. So we thought, all right, if we put the scanner on the part that is the danger, we can tune it to say, hey, let's integrate a field that, because it's moving with the scanner, it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be dynamic. So a simple mount and the simple question of, hey, ignore these things outside of this diameter was all just straightforward and in the software. There was nothing outside that was needed to be custom. We didn't have to work on it. We didn't have to think about it. We clicked a few boxes, we drew a few lines, and now this thing is absolutely safe. They have never dropped the ball. They are always 5 minutes on an email. Sean never says no to my phone calls unless he's on the ski slopes and he can't get to his phone. But as soon as he gets to the bottom of the lift, always on it. Their product specialists, TJ, amazing. We ask a question, he's got some in-depth, well thought out, articulated answer that solves the problem in one ping. I have question, he writes up an answer. So he'll go through all the documentation, he'll talk to his guys at SICK, and then they give me exactly what I want. The exact focal point of where I need to click the buttons to make the thing work perfectly. We're assembling things in America, which is amazing. We're stocking things in the United States. So the turnaround from SICK is anything that I see in the catalog is generally held in stock, which is huge for us because if you got to wait 5 to 6 weeks, That's the whole timeline of the project. You say, well, we won't get that part until the end of the project. And now we're here putting the seats and seatbelts into the car after the fact. That should have been done weeks ago so that we have time to make sure that everything's working. Having something in stock is a huge discriminator. If someone has a product that's equally good and equally priced, having something that's available now versus, ooh, we don't make that here, or ooh, we don't stock those, or ooh, it's not a high enough runner that we have it somewhere. As we know with COVID, my God, is it on the shelf? Who knows? Now we have certainty because that taught us double down on the products that you make them amazing, and make sure that they're in stock, because people need to have a timeline. And some of the customers that we have, timeline is everything. Money is not a problem. They need schedule and quality. SICK delivers on both. My colleagues would say, hey, you can get cheaper stuff somewhere else. And I go, yeah, but Germany makes the best stuff and everyone makes cheap copies from there. And if you look at a company like Trumpf, those guys make the best fabrication equipment. Germany. Hey, let's get something like a laser safety scanner. Yeah, well, who makes that? I don't know, like 3 or 4 people? Does SICK make one? Yeah. Are they the cheapest? No. Are they the best? By a landslide. And it shows. Someone would ask, why would you use SICK? They're usually the most expensive. I say, the initial investment on the device is only part of the cost of ownership. If someone said, hey, this costs $300 less, but it's going to be 3 more weeks of learning curve versus about an hour, what's that 3 weeks worth for maybe even one engineer working 1 hour a day on your project over 3 weeks? Well, 3 weeks on the fiscal calendar, you got to pay rent. You got to do something. Someone's going to ask, what's the end of month going to look like? Well, I could have had this done in 2 days and would have cost us $200 more, but now I'm 3 weeks behind. It has now cost me about $6,000 of our, efforts in the company, and we're left with an inferior product. It's gonna suck forever. It's never gonna get better. It's never gonna be as good as the SICK. So it's worth the money up front.